come to save the day.
The Mighty House crew is on the job. This is
Mighty House.
All right, we're back, and we've got more questions from the listeners or the viewers, or however you want to look at it, wherever you find us. And before we get started, click on that subscribe button, dingle on the bell, and we'll get started with it. So first off is, if you've got a question, you can always send it to Rich at mightyhouse.net. Rich loves getting these questions, and so we've got a bunch here that we've gotten a very similar one, so we're just going to pick one and get started with it. So what do we got today, Rich?
All right, so this one's addressed to us, and it says, so they just watched our video about the hot water issue and how it takes time to get hot water to a house.
Right.
So this listener/viewer purchased a 1,325 square foot house, 2-bedroom, 2 baths on a slab, and the water pressure's fine. The furthest most place, the kitchen and the master bath are in 2 places. I mean, he's having an issue with it. He says the water heater was replaced, copper lines in the house, and he's assuming they're underground.
Right.
But the kitchen faucet was replaced. But it takes forever for hot water to get to both of these sinks. And he says the shower doesn't seem to be that bad. Water flow, he's thinking water flow issue. But after he got hot water in the kitchen and just got back 15, 20 minutes later, the problem's back. Seems like it takes too long. He's never lived in a house on a slab that he can remember and doesn't really understand if that's the issue.
Right.
But the water heater is located in a closet in the bedroom that is the opposite end of the house from the kitchen and the master.
Yeah.
So now we're just talking a couple of things. We're talking about getting hot water from the water heater to the furthest point. It's one thing if you ran the water lines in the basement or through the crawl space, especially again, going back to the last show.
Right.
If the crawl space is air sealed, if the basement is part of your conditioned space, I assume you have heat in there, everything's gonna be good. So you won't notice that it takes quite a while for that water to get over there. However, if you live on a slab on grade, depending where you live in the country, so this person did not identify exactly where they live.
Oh, that's Alabama. It is in here.
Okay.
Yeah, North Alabama.
North Alabama. Okay. So Northern Alabama, I don't know what their groundwater temperature is. So I'm just going to make a stab. And I'm going to say 60. And I'm only going to say 60 because in the Chicagoland area, your groundwater temperature 4 feet down is typically 45 to 55 degrees.
Right.
In southern Florida, I know it's 75 degrees. So
it's bath water coming out of them.
Well, to you it might be, but you live down here and it's cold. But so that said, let's say it's 60-degree water. So as soon as he gets hot water in the master or in the kitchen and he shuts it off, well, it's going to suck the heat right out of that, right? It's just like a heat sink. It's going to suck all the heat out of the pipes. And they might have that wonderful black R6 foam around there.
If they're
which
lucky.
Means it takes less than 6 hours to suck the heat completely out of it.
Right.
So to drop the temperature is not unthinkable.
Right.
So basically what we do in most of our homes, because we'll use either tankless water heaters, but I still prefer hybrid water heaters. I don't mind having a bunch of water in there, especially down here, because the hybrids are heat pumps and they literally suck the heat out of a space to make hot water. Mm-hmm. That space in my case happens to be my garage.
Right.
So it actually reduces the temperature and humidity in my garage.
Excellent.
I like it. Anyway, has a recirc pump on it. So recirc pumps are great if you have a return line. So in other words, to the furthest point in your house, you would run a third line out there. You have hot, cold, and the recirc line. So now you're pushing water through the whole system, bringing it back, and you recirculate it. Now, just throwing a pump on there creates an issue with your water heater's running all the time.
Right.
And so is your pump.
Right.
So not very cost effective, right? You have instant hot water all the time, but it's really not cost effective. So the best way to do this is with a timer, a recirculating pump with a timer, and then it works great. You set that timer for when do you get up. So most of the time we set them for like 6 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Right.
And then from 5 p.m. to say 9 p.m. So through your dinner time and so on. It's based on your life. You know
Sure.
what I mean? Depending on when you go to work, when do you shower, and so on, you set that timer. Problem, most people think they can't do this because they can't get a third line.
Well, yeah, like a slab on grade, the pipes are in the floor. How are you going to run a return line from the other side of the house? You could probably go up into the attic and across and back down, and then hope you don't get any really cold days where it freezes. So,
Right.
you know,
So a lot of these kits are available out there right now, and they actually have a check valve.
which is
So-
behind here, right in back behind this
Yeah,
timer.
it's right below the pump. So you see that pump, and that one actually has a little check valve. And that check valve acts like the thermostat in your car. That recirc pump might run based on your time, but once water reaches temperature, that valve closes. And it no longer recirculates. Your water heater builds up hot water, and you're fine.
Right.
You can put that crossover
This
at the
device.
furthest point away. So this is one setup.
Right.
This happens to be a pump, timer, and crossover valve in one that can be put at the vanity furthest from your house or furthest from your water heater.
Right.
But another way to do it is put the pump timer on your water heater, and then you put that crossover valve at the furthest fixture.
So it
There's a
just
couple of
pushes it
different ways.
through.
So you want to call a good plumbing contractor
Yep.
who's familiar with it, and he can specify what you need in your house. And by doing that, you can have instant hot water during those time periods that you use it most, and you'd be amazed at the difference.
Yeah.
Comfort level.
Yeah. Well, and the amount of water that you save, because
Yes.
it'll save water now. So just to ask the question. Okay, so now if all the faucets are off, where's this water going? If it's pulling it out of the hot and pushing it into the cold, where's that cold water going? If it's all closed up.
It's going right into your cold water side, feeding your water heater.
Okay, there you go. Just gotta.
So your cold water line does this. And
Sure.
your hot water line comes out of the water heater and goes this.
Right.
So the crossover gives you that ability to make a loop. But what's nice with the crossover valve is not making a loop. It's a loop with a thermostatic valve that shuts down when you get to a certain temperature. So you're not just recirculating hot water.
Right. And then you get all kinds of hot water on your cold side. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's the other side. If you've got it running and it's running a lot, you might actually get warm water out of the cold for a minute, and you'll have to run the cold water to get.
Which most people don't complain about.
No, they'll have to run it.
And it makes cleaner ice cubes and faster because hot water freezes faster than cold water. No, but another word though is, so I have on mine, I have a hybrid water heater. I have a return line going to it. So, but I have a newer style recirculating pump that is supposedly smart.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's supposed to learn your habits, and then it automatically programs when to run the hot water, the recirculation, and all that. And I've found it to be less than successful.
Or
I
you
would
guys are really
like to go
confusing.
back- No, I'd really like to go back to an old analog where I can just say 6 to 8 and 5 to 9.
Right. And
Because-
you can't go in and program that.
No, and I actually did a test where it has a 100% and it has an auto. So on 100%, it circulates constantly, and the electric bill went up, but I did have hot water instantly everywhere, 24/7. But it's not effective then, right? So the auto mode, it just, if you get up at 5:30 in the morning 3 days a week and 6 o'clock or 6:30 2 days or 3 days a week, it doesn't pick up on that you might need it for that hour. It only gives it to you. I don't know how it learns. I don't know the programming on it, but
It's not too
doesn't
intelligent. It's not too
no,
intelligent.
you literally got to get up and shower the exact same time every day. It works fine.
Right. So here's what you do. You unplug that pump, you plug that into a regular outlet, and then you get a Lutron timer switch, hook it up to Caseta into your system, and then you can program that switch to go on and off when you're going to be on, and that'll control the outlet, which will control the pump, and now you've got it. Analog.
Or I just get up and say I'm about to shower, so I just hit the button, it turns the pump on. So at least I'm not wasting the water, I'm recirculating the water.
But then you got to go out in the garage in your skivvies. That's not cool.
No, it'd still be on my Lutron. I would just
Oh, yeah, on the
Yeah,
Lutron.
on my
Yeah, if you had the
phone.
Lutron app. Yeah, exactly.
So you
do
set
a
up a
Lutron outlet
clapper.
for the pump.
You set up a clapper, then that then turns on this.
Yes, I need the do a clap. Yeah. Hey, feel like a shower?
So we can Rube
I mean, it's difficult
Goldberg
'cause
this
then,
thing.
my wife, she goes to work later, so then it's, even if it's learning 5:30 a.m., by the time she wants to shower to go to work, it's cold water again.
Right.
So, yeah, it needs a little more window or something. So I don't know how to do it exactly.
Right. Well, there you go. All right. So the result, because he actually emailed us back, was he did put one of these pump systems in, and it's working great. He now has hot water wherever he wants it, and he's got the timer set up, so it's working great for him and works really good. So this is a great option if you have a slab on grade or there's no way to get a recirculating line in. You have a finished basement.
If you got a 3,000 square foot ranch with one water heater, you got this problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but my big thing though is if you happen to see this, don't turn this off and get on Amazon and just start searching for recirculating pumps with crossovers, because you really should have a good plumber look at, because he's going to pick the better product for you for your situation. Everybody's going to be a little different.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, exactly. There you go. All right, so if you got any other questions, send it out to rich@mightyhouse.net. And
I'm
with
going to have
that,
to check email after this.
yeah, there you go. All right, so with that, I'll say keep it square and level.
Till next time.
Until next time, there you go. So there you go. Now everybody has hot water. When they want it, right there, boom, done, taken care of.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I've never timed mine exactly when it's not getting it. It feels like forever, but it's probably 2 minutes. Like I said, all the shower head's got a 2-minute flow. So you're talking at least 4 gallons of wastewater.
Sure.